Dirk, a bit of a rest this week, not involved in the Carling Cup game at Leeds. Was that your decision or the manager's?
Always the managers. You know, we got a lot of good players, and if you look in training every day, everyone wants to play as many games as possible, and it was the manager's decision to, to send a few other players to Leeds, and he left me behind. And you know, as a player, you always want to be involved in as many games as possible. But I think, like we said before, if we do well this season, we play more or less 60 games, and it's almost impossible to be involved in every game. So it was a manager's choice, and as a player, you always have to accept that.
Disappointed to miss out then, I suppose, but perhaps on the other side, glad to maybe get a bit of a rest between a lot of games, both with Liverpool and internationally as well lately. Yeah,
we already played a lot of games, and but if I watch the game at home, and if you see, you know, the stadium, Leeds, 37,000 people, you always want to be involved in this kind of games, and you know, it's Carling Cup, but you want to be always important for your club and for your team. So it never feels nice when you're left behind. But you know, this is football these days. There are so many games, and the manager has to make his choices, and you have to respect that. And I just want to be ready for the next game he needs me.
Season's starting to gain some momentum now, isn't it? A slow start, but those wins coming back to back, confidence looks like it's returning to the side.
Yeah, I think, like you said, we had a not so good start, and we already lose 2 times. But after that, we start to win a couple of games in a row, and that's what we want to do. And we just want to keep going from one game to the other, and beginning with the next game on Saturday.
Have you looked back now at those 2 games, and as a team, as a squad, look back at why you had perhaps an indifferent start to the season?
You know, it's always I think it's always hard to go your first game to London to play Spurs, and it's not easy to win there. But at the end of the day, I think we can just only blame ourselves. We were not good enough that day, and also we weren't good enough against Villa. And we know when we 100%, we give everything for the team. You know, all the players. Then we should win every game almost, and that's what we want, and that's what we can. We showed that last season that we, can beat everyone. So when we lose games, we first have to look to ourselves.
Good win in London for you last time out though, against West Ham in the Premier League. A good victory, good game.
Yeah, it was a hard game, but a good victory, like you said. I think we started really well, 1-0 up, and we would just get the second goal in. And then I think by our own mistakes we brought West Ham back in the game. But again, we had a good spirit, and I think that's what we showed against Bolton as well. Even when teams come next to us or score the equaliser, we always have the strength to score another goal.
No doubt about it. One of these toes got a touch on that second goal. Yeah. Yet you said Stevie can have it. You're being too kind.
Am I? No, it just was, I felt a bit embarrassed because everyone was thinking that Stevie scored a goal, and I thought he believed it by himself as well, and only by half time I told him, I'm sorry mate, but I touched it, and I owe you one, and I will give it back as soon as possible. And of course I know you can't give goals to other players, but I believe this goal was more his than mine.
What about your performance personally at West Ham? You were taken off, which isn't something we see too often, substituted.
Yeah.
How did you feel you played?
It was a difficult game. I think like I said, we started well the first half, but after that, they came back in the game, and it was a decision of the manager to take me off, to bring some fresh players in, and you're never happy when you get substitutes, and I wasn't happy with the substitute, but we have a big squad with a lot of good players, so it's up to the manager to take his decisions. And then, in the end of the day, he took a very good decision, because it was a great cross by Ryan Babel.
How much are you enjoying playing in front of Glenn Johnson?
I think Glenn has done really well. He was a big signing for us, but he showed it straight from the start. He's already very important for the team, defensively, and especially in attack. He scored very good goals, gave some assists, and he's probably the best player, one of the best players in the team so far this season.
And how different is it for you than from last year playing in front of Alvaro?
Alvaro was a very good player as well. He's done really well for the club the last couple of years. But you know, players come and players go. He go to you know, a big club in his country, and Glenn was coming. So you know, you have to say goodbye to these players. And I enjoyed my time with Alvaro, and now I'm enjoying my time with Johnson on the right. And like I said, he's a great player, fantastic player, and he's still a young player as well. So I think he will only get better and better.
Hull coming up this weekend, Dirk, of course. Everybody spoke about the fact that Liverpool need to avoid drawing too many games at Anfield. Hull was a draw from Anfield last season. Do you feel like after the win against Stoke, the win against Burnley, you're a more confident side at home this year?
Yeah, I think we showed in the home game so far, beside the game, beside the Villa game, that we, you know, we can beat every opponent. And like we had the difficulties last season with too many draws, we now are able to you know, to score goals in the first half, and for us that's really important to get the first goal in as soon as possible, and then it will be, you know, easier and more difficult for them to you know, to play the game.
Even though Hull have had a difficult start to the season themselves, will you still study your opponent, still look at what they do, or is it all about what Liverpool do? Yeah,
no, the Premier League is one of the hardest leagues in the world. So every team has a very good team with very good players, and I believe Hull has a good team as well. But you know, we have to go from our own strength, and we believe that we can beat them. So we have to focus on ourselves, but you know, respect the opponent and be ready for their strengths. And we always have the respect for the opponent.